Welcome to Dolphin Dive Daily, your go-to spot for everything Miami Dolphins. If you bleed aqua and orange, hit that subscribe button and join the pod. Nobody was surprised when Tyreek Hill wasn't named one of the Miami Dolphins captains for the 2025 season, and that decision speaks volumes about both the state of the team and Hill's personal journey. Last season's antics left a lingering question mark over Hill's leadership, culminating in an off-season admission that he himself did not deserve a captaincy. That kind of accountability, while overdue, is a key piece of the puzzle for a Dolphins team that still heavily relies on Hill's dynamic presence on the field. Coach Mike McDaniel, speaking in a press conference earlier this week, emphasized that Hill's commitment to his teammates remains crucial, even if he isn't officially in a leadership role. The narrative surrounding Hill has shifted from disappointment and frustration to cautious optimism. Fans and analysts alike are now watching not just his physical readiness, but also his mental and emotional investment in the collective goal of returning the Dolphins to contention in 2025. McDaniel's praise for Hill wasn't casual or fleeting. It was detailed and specific, highlighting Hill's ownership of his role and the visible effort he has made to rebuild trust with the team. What can be said about any of our leaders and how they're communicating expectations, and then how people are more invested toward each other, McDaniel explained. You can exemplify that by Tyreek Hill's ownership of his job and his commitment to his teammates. Those words underscore the delicate balance Hill must maintain, recovering from an oblique injury while simultaneously demonstrating the kind of leadership that isn't necessarily recognized on a stat sheet. This dual focus, personal performance and team cohesion, is often underestimated in public narratives about star players. The Dolphins, with their eyes on Week 1 against the Colts, need Hill to contribute both on and off the field, and McDaniel's remarks suggest he is indeed stepping up in ways that go beyond individual talent. Hill's work ethic during training camp has been a tangible manifestation of this commitment, particularly as he rehabilitates from the oblique injury that threatened to derail the start of his season. The Dolphins coaching staff has strategically managed his practice time, splitting him across different periods to ensure that he can participate without risking further injury. This measured approach reflects not only concern for Hill's physical well-being, but also a recognition of his leadership influence. Even sidelined or limited, a player of Hill's caliber sets a tone for the team. His presence in meetings, film sessions, and on-field drills communicates a message about accountability and professionalism that resonates throughout the locker room. Observers watching these controlled reps can see a player who understands the weight of his responsibility, which is critical for a team striving to establish a stronger culture in 2025. Perhaps the most scrutinized aspect of Hill's offseason has been his relationship with quarterback Tua Tagovailoa, which was strained after Hill's comments at the close of last season. Tagovailoa's candid reflections painted a picture of tension and frustration, but McDaniel has expressed confidence that meaningful progress has been made. According to the coach, the standard now emphasizes daily focus, where each practice carries the intensity and significance of a game situation. This shift requires players like Hill to not only perform at a high level physically, but also to invest in the interpersonal dynamics that define a team. Hill's growth in this area is a crucial metric. Rebuilding trust with Tua, the rookie guard, and even role players like Tyrell Dodson and Jordan Brooks is essential for a team that relies on precise timing, coordination, and mutual support to succeed on the field. The Dolphins' commitment to fostering connectivity within the team extends beyond individual relationships and into the broader culture of accountability. McDaniel's comments about Hill highlight a larger organizational effort to reverse negative perceptions from the prior season, which included fines for tardiness and general concerns about team discipline. Hill, once emblematic of those issues, now appears as the symbol of the team's renewed standards. Every player and coach who has interacted with him this offseason has remarked on his engagement and professionalism, signaling that he has internalized the team's expectations. For the Dolphins, Hill's evolution is both a practical necessity and a symbolic gesture, reflecting a broader ambition to solidify a winning culture that prioritizes both performance and shared responsibility. Hill's rehabilitation process has offered an additional avenue for leadership, as he has remained fully engaged with the offense and with Tua, even while managing physical limitations. McDaniel drew parallels to Tagovailoa's approach last season following a concussion, pointing out that setting the standard in injury preparation can inspire the entire team. Hill's dedication to maintaining connection and communication during this period is noteworthy because it reinforces the idea that leadership extends beyond the visible moments on game day. By modeling accountability in these quieter moments, Hill is demonstrating a commitment to consistency and resilience, traits that the Dolphins need to navigate a demanding season. This behind-the-scenes investment could have ripple effects across every unit of the team. The significance of Hill's renewed focus cannot be overstated when considering the Dolphins' ambitions for 2025. The new captain's approach to accountability, combined with Hill's reinvestment in the team, has the potential to transform locker room dynamics and influence on-field outcomes. While critics might view Hill's offseason efforts as overdue or merely symbolic, McDaniel's assessment suggests substantive change. In a league where chemistry and trust often dictate a team's ceiling more than raw talent alone, Hill's personal growth could be the linchpin for Miami's success. The Dolphins' offense, already talented, now benefits from a leader who is consciously aligning personal ambition with collective achievement, reinforcing the standards that McDaniel has been trying to embed across the roster. Of course, the ultimate test for Hill and his relationship with Tua will come under pressure when the season brings inevitable adversity. Wins, losses, injuries, and unexpected challenges will reveal whether the offseason progress translates to sustained cohesion on and off the field. For now, Hill's performance and engagement provide encouraging signs, but fans and analysts alike understand that early optimism must be tempered by the reality of an 18-game grind and playoff expectations. The Dolphins' management, coaching staff, and players are likely monitoring Hill's consistency closely, knowing that leadership is not just declared, it is proven through repeated actions over time. This tension between potential and realization will define much of Miami's narrative this season. For the Dolphins, Hill's journey is emblematic of a broader effort to redefine culture and expectations within the organization. The emphasis on practice intensity, team connectivity, and accountability is not incidental. It is a deliberate strategy to elevate both individual and collective performance. Hill's active participation, especially given his injury management, sends a clear message to younger players and new additions about the standards they are expected to uphold. By embracing this responsibility, Hill not only improves his own value to the team, but also enhances the potential for Miami's offensive unit to operate at peak efficiency. His leadership, though unofficial in title, is arguably more influential now than it ever was before. As the Dolphins prepare for Week 1 against the Colts, Hill's contributions, both physical and emotional, will be under intense scrutiny. Fans, commentators, and teammates alike will be watching how he balances rehabilitation with on-field readiness, and whether his interactions with Tua and other teammates demonstrate sustained growth. McDaniel's public statements offer optimism, but the real measure of success will emerge through game day execution and the team's ability to navigate adversity. Hill's commitment to the process, attention to detail, and focus on relationships position him as a central figure in Miami's quest for consistency and competitiveness, highlighting the nuanced role star players play in shaping team culture. Ultimately, the narrative surrounding Tyreek Hill in 2025 is one of redemption, commitment, and cautious optimism. While past actions created friction and skepticism, Hill's proactive engagement with his teammates, deliberate approach to injury management, and focus on interpersonal growth paint a picture of a player who is consciously evolving. Whether this version of Hill will sustain itself throughout the season is uncertain, but the foundations he is laying now are critical for both his personal trajectory and the Dolphins' collective goals. For a team aiming to blend talent with accountability, Hill's renewed commitment could be the catalyst that defines their season, providing a blueprint for balancing individual excellence with team cohesion in one of the NFL's most scrutinized locker rooms. The unfolding story of Tyreek Hill and the Miami Dolphins in 2025 underscores the intricate interplay between personal responsibility, leadership, and team success. Hill's offseason actions, from injury rehab to rebuilding relationships, exemplify the subtle, often invisible ways a player can influence a locker room culture. McDaniel's comments indicate that these efforts are noticed and valued, providing a framework for sustainable growth. As the season progresses, every practice, meeting, and game will serve as a test of whether Hill's commitment is enduring. For fans, analysts, and teammates, Hill's trajectory offers both hope and a reminder that leadership is earned, not granted. In a sport where connection and trust can define championship potential, Hill's evolution may well be the key to the Dolphins' ambitions for 2025, signaling a new chapter for a team and a player determined to rise above past mistakes. Still with us? Then show some love. Hit that like button and let us know in the comments. What's your take on the Fins this week? The Miami Dolphins might be on the verge of pulling off a move that shakes the foundations of the NFL, and all eyes are on defensive lineman Chris Jones. Rumors have been swirling for weeks about Jones' potential departure from his current team, and now sources suggest that the Dolphins are not only interested but aggressively pursuing him. The buzz around Miami's locker room has players and coaches buzzing about the possibilities of adding a dominant force to an already formidable defensive front. Chris Jones, known for his explosive strength and ability to disrupt both the run and the pass, could provide an immediate upgrade, and fans are starting to imagine the ripple effect this signing could have on the team's overall defensive strategy. In a league where impact players are at a premium, the thought of Jones suiting up in aqua and orange has sent waves through rumor mills, sports radio, and social media chatter, creating a sense of anticipation that is almost tangible. Analysts are already speculating on how his presence could redefine the Dolphins' defensive identity, and the atmosphere in Miami feels charged with expectation as insiders hint that the deal could be finalized soon. If Chris Jones does indeed land in Miami, the Dolphins' defensive line instantly transforms from formidable to nearly unstoppable. Jones has built a reputation over his career as a disruptive force, and pairing him with Miami's existing defensive stars could create a nightmare scenario for opposing quarterbacks. Rumors indicate that the Dolphins are willing to offer a package that matches Jones' elite talent level, signaling a commitment to immediate defensive dominance. Conversations within league circles suggest that coaches are already mapping out schemes that leverage his strengths, with insiders hinting that the plan is to have him influence every snap. Fans are speculating about the first game he might debut in, imagining sacks, forced fumbles, and tackles for loss that could turn the tide of the season. Social media platforms are overflowing with excitement, debates, and predictions, with some suggesting that Jones' presence alone could make Miami a Super Bowl contender. While nothing is official, the sheer intensity of the chatter underscores how transformative this potential acquisition could be for the Dolphins' defense, signaling that the team is not just thinking about the present, but positioning itself for years of dominance. The speculation around Chris Jones has sparked debates about how the Dolphins' defense might adjust to accommodate such a high-profile talent. Sources close to team management hint that the coaching staff is already brainstorming adjustments, considering different front alignments and blitz packages that could maximize Jones' impact. Jones' unique combination of size, speed, and technique allows him to dominate offensive linemen, and insiders suggest Miami's defensive coordinator is excited about the strategic flexibility this could bring. Fans have taken to forums and comment sections, imagining scenarios in which Jones becomes the focal point of Miami's defensive scheme, generating sacks, pressures, and turnovers game after game. Meanwhile, opponents are reportedly aware of the looming threat, and rumors suggest that teams are already planning to adjust their game plans in anticipation of his arrival. Analysts are breaking down his past performances, highlighting his consistency and ability to change games single-handedly. The anticipation is building, and with each passing day, the narrative around Jones in Miami gains more momentum, fueling a sense of urgency and excitement that's almost impossible to ignore in football circles. Beyond the tactical discussions, there's also a psychological element to Chris Jones potentially joining the Dolphins. Sources suggest that his presence alone could elevate the confidence and intensity of the entire defensive unit. Players reportedly admire his work ethic and leadership, and the locker room chatter hints at the kind of culture shift his signing could bring. Rumors from insiders indicate that younger defenders see this as a chance to learn from one of the best, and the mentorship component could have long-term implications for Miami's defensive depth. Social media is rife with speculation about how Jones might mesh with existing stars, with some suggesting that the synergy could be explosive. Coaches are apparently envisioning scenarios in which his dominance forces offenses into mistakes, creating opportunities for the secondary and linebackers to capitalize. While nothing has been confirmed, the buzz suggests that both teammates and fans are already counting down the days until Chris Jones steps onto the field in a Dolphins uniform. The psychological impact of his arrival could be as significant as the tangible improvements he brings on game day, and insiders are framing this potential signing as a transformative moment for the franchise. Financial and contractual aspects of the rumored deal have also fueled the conversation surrounding Chris Jones' potential move to Miami. League insiders speculate that the Dolphins are prepared to structure a contract that not only reflects his elite status, but also allows flexibility for future roster moves. Rumors suggest that management is balancing the desire to acquire top-tier talent with maintaining a competitive and balanced roster. Analysts have begun dissecting the potential salary cap implications, projecting how this move might influence other signings or extensions in the coming months. Meanwhile, fan speculation online has been intense, with debates over whether Miami is making a bold, all-in push for immediate success or strategically positioning itself for sustained dominance. Inside whispers suggest that Jones' representatives are carefully evaluating the Dolphins' offer, weighing not just the financial terms, but the opportunity to join a team on the rise with championship aspirations. The combination of tactical, psychological, and financial factors makes this rumored acquisition one of the most discussed potential moves in recent NFL history, fueling a narrative that has fans and insiders alike on the edge of their seats. Rumors about Chris Jones in Miami have also sparked discussions about the broader NFL landscape, with speculation on how other teams might respond if the signing materializes. Sources indicate that rival franchises are monitoring negotiations closely, understanding that adding a player of Jones' caliber could tilt divisional balance and playoff projections. Conversations among analysts suggest that quarterbacks in the AFC East might already be bracing for more challenging matchups, adjusting their offensive strategies to account for his disruptive presence. Fan speculation often includes comparisons with historic defensive moves, debating whether this signing could be as game-changing as some of the most legendary free agent acquisitions in league history. Coaches in Miami reportedly view this as an opportunity to set a new standard for defensive dominance, considering not just immediate results, but long-term roster synergy. The potential ripple effect extends beyond the Dolphins, impacting scouting, draft strategies, and even trade market activity across the league. This multifaceted discussion has amplified the rumor to a point where it's no longer just a Miami story. It's a conversation about the future of competition in the NFL. Media chatter around Chris Jones has been relentless, with insiders feeding the rumor mill and fueling speculation across sports outlets and social media channels. Reports suggest that journalists and commentators are coordinating sources to verify updates, creating a constant stream of content analyzing potential outcomes. Some insiders hint that Miami's PR team is subtly fueling excitement without confirming details, adding to the mystique and anticipation. Fans are dissecting every possible angle, from defensive scheme impacts to leadership qualities, and online threads are buzzing with theories about how Jones could redefine the Dolphins' defensive narrative. Analysts have begun creating projections, simulating games with Jones in the lineup, and highlighting scenarios where his presence turns close contests into decisive victories. The rumor has taken on a life of its own, blending speculation, expert opinion, and fan imagination into a narrative that's both captivating and impossible to ignore. Whether or not the signing is finalized, the conversation alone has created a cultural moment in Miami football circles, shaping expectations for the upcoming season in ways that are already tangible. From a tactical perspective, insiders suggest that Chris Jones could be the linchpin for Miami's defensive ambitions, with potential to elevate every position around him. Rumors indicate that coaches are already envisioning rotations and situational packages built specifically to highlight his strengths. Jones' ability to collapse pockets, stop the run, and create havoc in the backfield could force offenses to rethink blocking schemes, altering the entire pace and flow of games. Sources hint that his presence might even allow linebackers and secondary players more freedom to take calculated risks, knowing that the defensive line is anchored by a player who can change outcomes single-handedly. Fans have embraced this narrative, speculating about highlight reels filled with sacks, pressures, and turnovers that could dominate sports broadcasts. While all of this remains speculative, the intensity of the conversation suggests that the potential signing has already altered perceptions of Miami's defensive ceiling. In league circles, the buzz is palpable, and every mention of Chris Jones in connection with the Dolphins ignites renewed discussion about strategy, dominance, and what might be possible in the upcoming season. Off-field dynamics have also entered the rumor narrative, with sources indicating that Chris Jones' personality and work ethic could mesh well with Miami's culture. Rumors hint that team leaders are excited not just about his on-field impact, but the way he could mentor younger players and set standards for professionalism. Analysts suggest that Jones' presence could influence practice habits, film study routines, and even the overall energy within the locker room. Fans speculate about interviews, community appearances, and the broader brand impact of having a player of Jones' stature in Miami. Insiders note that the Dolphins' front office sees the move as a statement of intent, signaling to fans, rivals, and potential future signings that the franchise is serious about competing at the highest level. Social media platforms amplify every nugget of information, turning speculation into widespread discussion and fueling a sense of excitement that transcends typical off-season chatter. Even without confirmation, the narrative of Jones in Miami has already begun shaping perceptions of the team's identity and ambitions, suggesting that the psychological and cultural effects could be as profound as the tactical ones. As the rumor mill continues, sources suggest that negotiations are ongoing, and while no official announcement has been made, optimism in Miami appears high. Rumors hint that both sides are engaged in a delicate balancing act, ensuring that contractual terms, roster implications, and long-term goals align. Analysts speculate that the Dolphins are eager to finalize the deal before the preseason, allowing time to integrate Jones into the defensive system and maximize impact from the first game. Fans are in a frenzy, with social media threads, podcasts, and YouTube videos dissecting every possible scenario and creating a virtual buzz that rivals major draft announcements. Some insiders hint at behind-the-scenes visits, workouts, or strategic meetings that signal progress, further fueling speculation. While the story is still unfolding, the intensity of attention underscores how high the stakes are and how transformative this potential acquisition could be. Rumors alone have elevated expectations, creating a sense that Miami's defensive future could hinge on the next few weeks, and the anticipation is nearly palpable across every corner of football discourse. In conclusion, the potential signing of Chris Jones by the Miami Dolphins is a story that blends rumor, strategy, and anticipation into a narrative that has captivated fans and insiders alike. Sources indicate that while nothing is official, conversations remain active, and both parties are motivated to reach an agreement that could redefine the team's defensive identity. Analysts, commentators, and fans alike are envisioning a lineup where Jones' talent anchors a defensive front capable of dominating games and creating opportunities across the field. The buzz extends beyond tactical impact, touching locker room dynamics, mentorship, and the broader cultural footprint of the franchise. Social media, podcasts, and rumor mills continue to amplify every hint of progress, feeding excitement and speculation at a fever pitch. Whether or not the deal materializes, the conversation itself has created a narrative of transformation, dominance, and possibility, positioning Chris Jones in Miami as one of the most tantalizing rumors of the NFL offseason, a story that continues to grow with every passing day, and a tale that fans will follow with rapt attention. That's a wrap for today's dive. If you're loving the content, share it with a fellow Dolphins fan, hit subscribe, and turn on notifications so you never miss a splash. Fins up.